নিরাপদে তুমি হবে মা তোমার প্রতি অবহেলা নয় নিরাপদে তুমি হবে মা তোমার প্রতি অবহেলা নয় নিরাপদে তুমি হবে মা
প্রতিটি শিশুর সাংবিধানিক অধিকার শিক্ষার অধিকার নিশ্চিত করতে শিশুকে বিদ্যালয়ে পাঠানোর দায়িত্ব আপনার আমার সকলের
আমরা যা খুশি তাই করি তবু তার খুশিতে চড়ি আমরা যা খুশি তাই করি তবু তার খুশিতে চড়ি আমরা নই বাধা নই দাসের রাজা ত্রাসের দাসত্বে নইলে মোদের রাজা শনি ভবিষ্যতে আমরা সবাই রাজা আমাদের রাজা রাজত্বে নইলে মোদের রাজা শনি ভবিষ্যতে
আসুন আমাদের সম্মিলিত প্রচেষ্টায় শিশু শ্রম মুক্ত বাংলাদেশ গড়ে
মাস্টার চাচা আমার একটা কথা ছিল
ঠিক আছে বলো কি বলবা
বিজিডি কার্ড বিধবা ভাতা প্রতিবন্ধী ভাতা দেওয়ার জন্য নাম তালিকাভুক্ত করা হইতেছে কিন্তু আমাদের গ্রামে অনেক যোগ্য নারী আছে প্রতিবন্ধী আছে যাদের নামই নেওয়া হয়নি আমরা কর্তৃপক্ষের কাছে তথ্য চেয়ে আবেদন করতে চাই তথ্য পাওয়া আমাদের অধিকার আর তথ্য অধিকার আইনও তাই বলে
ঠিক আছে তোমরা আবেদন করো আমি তোমাদের সাথে আছি
আসসালামু
শেষ পর্যন্ত কি তথ্য জানতে পারছো
তথ্যের ভিত্তিতে জানতে পারলাম আমাদের গ্রামে 4 জন ভাতা পাওয়ার যোগ্য
কিন্তু তুমি এগুলো শিখলা কেমনে
আমি আইটিআই বিষয়ে একটা ট্রেনিং থেকে এসব শিখছি
সরকার কিন্তু একটা ভালো আইন করেছে তাই না
তথ্য প্রাপ্তি আপনার অধিকার তথ্য আপনার পরিবার ও সমাজের জীবনমান উন্নয়নে সাহায্য করতে পারে তথ্য অধিকার আইন প্রয়োগ করে আপনার তথ্য জানার অধিকার প্রতিষ্ঠা করুন
রাখি সবাই মিলে সুস্থ থাকি
Remittance surges in first week of September as country receives nearly 6,535 crore taka. Relief returns in the dollar market as currency exchange rate stabilizes and trend of sending remittances through banking channels increases. ICT takes initiatives to know number of dead and injured from firing on students and mass people. Decision taken to write letters to public-private hospitals, graveyard authorities and deputy commissioners. Extortion not stopped in market, vacuum just filled up. So interim government to resist extortion sternly, says finance and commerce advisor. Polythene and polypropylene bags to be banned in super shops from October the 1st, says Environment Advisor. 33 more Palestinians killed in Israeli attacks in last 24 hours, raising death toll to nearly 41,000 in Gaza. And Sri Lanka beat England by 8 wickets to avoid whitewash in the Oval Test. England clinched the series 2-1. Assalamu alaikum. Those were the headlines of tonight's news at 10. I'm Mahmoud Rahman. Let's move on now to the details. The Vatican ambassador to Bangladesh, Kevin S. Randall, paid a courtesy call on Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus at the State Guest House, Jamuna, in Dhaka today. During the call-on, they discussed different issues related to Bangladesh's religious minorities, interfaith dialogue, Rohingya issues, and humanitarian responses. The Vatican envoy said they had proposed an interfaith dialogue between the Islamic scholars of Bangladesh and a delegation from the Holy See's dicastery on interreligious dialogue. He also underscored the need for scaling up assistance for more than 1 million Rohingya people who live in the camps in Bangladesh's southeast. The chief advisor said that the main focus of the interim government is the law and order situation, stressing that the security situation has improved in the country. Professor Muhammad Yunus also said that the interim government has rolled out important reforms in the first month after he took over as the chief advisor. Bangladesh received 54 crore 45 lakh $40,000 remittance in the first week of September. The amount is equal to 6,534 crore 48 lakh taka, which is the highest after the coronavirus pandemic period. Bangladesh Bank disclosed the information yesterday. The inflow of remittance started to gain momentum after the fall of the fascist Awami League government. As a result, the country received $222 crore in August. The amount is equal to 26,656 crore taka. This upward trend is continuing in the current month. The interim government has taken a good number of decisions in the banking sector that help gain momentum in remittance inflow. Relief has returned to the country's dollar market as the currency exchange rate has stabilized. There is no shortage of dollars in banks or curb markets. Dollar exchange rate is now lower in the retail market due to less demand for hundi. In the present political situation, expatriates are getting additional money only by sending remittance to the bank. For this reason, the trend of sending remittances to banks has become strong. At the beginning of 2022, the exchange rate was 85 taka per dollar. Taka has depreciated by more than 42% against the dollar in the last 2.5 years. Bangladesh Bank adopted the crawling peg policy in May this year to stabilize the dollar rate. However, that did not solve the problem. The difference between the dollar rate in the curb market and the declared rate of the bank was 3 to 10 taka, but after the fall of the Sheikh Hasina government, the dollar market has gradually stabilized. This has contributed to a major decline in the demand for hundi in the domestic market. The demand for dollars in the curb market has also decreased as gold smuggling routes have been blocked after the fall of Sheikh Hasina. Besides, the demand for dollars in banks decreased due to decrease of the letters of credit for import. Meanwhile, Bangladesh received 222 crore 14 lakh dollars remittances in August, which is 31 crore dollars more than that of July. The central bank said that increasing remittances has had a positive impact on the country's reserves. It further stated that there is currently no chance of a dollar rate increase because the supply is normal. The International Crimes Tribunal has taken initiatives to gather information on the incidents of firing on students and mass people, killings and injuries during the movement led by students. The investigation agency of the tribunal will write to public and private hospitals and graveyard authorities and deputy commissioners across the country seeking information. The government is yet to make a complete list of the dead and injured of the July uprising. In the meantime, chief prosecutor and several prosecutors have been appointed to handle the lawsuits filed with the International Crimes Tribunal related to killings during the uprising led by anti-discrimination student movement. Finance and Commerce Advisor Dr. Saleh-Uddin Ahmed said extortion did not stop in market management, just the vacuum has been filled up. The interim government will resist extortion sternly, he added. The advisor made the comments to journalists after a delegation led by UNDP resident representative Stefan Lila paid a courtesy call on him in the Secretariat today. The Finance and Commerce advisor also said inflation increased as the previous government printed notes of 60,000 crore taka. It will take some time to bring it to a tolerable level. Regarding the meeting with the delegation, the advisor said UNDP will provide technical and expert assistance if required to reform the economic sector. There will be no polythene shopping bags and polypropylene bags at super shops from 1st of October. Environment, Forest and Climate Change advisor Syeda Rizwana Hassan has said this at a meeting with stakeholders to adopt a work plan at the Secretariat today. The advisor urged the print and electronic media to make the people aware about the bad effects of polythene and ban of polythene from the 1st of October. The Environment Advisor advised the owners of super shops to provide jute bags for the customers. She also called upon the people to use environment-friendly biodegradable bags for the sake of the next generation. Home Advisor Lieutenant General retired Jahangir Alam Chaudhry has said steps have been taken to upgrade the food quality for inmates and prison guards alongside turning jails into correction centres. He said this at a view exchange meeting with prison officials at the prison conference room today. Home Ministry's Senior Secretary Dr. Mohammad Abdul Momin, Inspector General of Prisons Brigadier General Syed Mohammad Mutahar Hussain among the officials were present. The Home Advisor Jahangir Alam Chaudhry said the movement of students was not only for quota reform, rather the main reasons were against bribery, corruption and price spiralling. So he called for stopping bribery to change the society entirely. Home Advisor Lieutenant General retired Mohammad Jahangir Alam Chaudhry said security of all foreign citizens living in Bangladesh has been ensured. He made the comment as Canadian High Commissioner to Bangladesh, Lily Nicholas, met him at his office today. They discussed various bilateral issues, including developing mutual relationship, ensuring security of foreign citizens, including Canadians, Rohingya situation, police reformation, providing assistance in agricultural sector, and return of smuggled amounts of money to the country. Later, a delegation joined the Canadian High Commissioner in a meeting with the Home Advisor. They discussed issues over accepting consultancy and opinions of UNDP's member organisation UNODC regarding the reformation of police in Bangladesh. The Advisor for Foreign Affairs received credentials of Head of Delegation of International Federation of Red Cross IFRC today. The Advisor welcomed the IFRC Head of Delegation to Bangladesh and assured of all-out support of the government in discharging his responsibilities. Alberto briefed the advisor about IFRC activities in Bangladesh, particularly about their early warning system, role during the recent floods in Bangladesh, and for the temporarily sheltered Rohingya people in Bangladesh, as well as the host community. A 4-member delegation led by U.S. Embassy Charge d'Affaires Helen Lafave today paid a courtesy call on disaster management and relief advisor Farooq-e-Azam Bir Pratik at Bangladesh Secretariat. During the meeting, they discussed various bilateral issues, including recent floods in Bangladesh and rehabilitation of the flood-affected people. Mentioning that various international organizations have come forward to help in the rehabilitation of the flood victims, the advisor said the delegation has expressed interest in joining this rehabilitation work. The delegation praised the efforts of the Army and the people in the relief distribution. Disaster Management and Relief Secretary Mohammad Kamrul Hassan and senior officials of the Ministry and U.S. Embassy were present. The government has cancelled the appointment of 17 special public prosecutors in an Explosive Substances Act case filed with Lalbagh Police Station over the 2009 BDR killing. A Law and Justice Division Gazette notification confirmed the matter. The 17 special PPs whose appointments have been revoked are Mushar Hossain Kajol, Sheikh Baharul Islam, Ghazi Zillur Rahman, Abdul Jamil Afrad Kabir, AFM Tawhidur Rahman, Mohammad Mukhtar Hussain, Aminur Rahman Khan, Zebunessa Akhtar Khan Munni, Monjur Mohammad Shahnawaz, Laiju Yasmin, Lucky Akhtar Flora, Mohammad Masood Rana, Mohammad Shah Jahan, Shahana Begum, Mohammad Firoz Ahmed, Mohammad Omar Farooq and Mohammad Habibur Rahman. A Bangladeshi teen was shot dead by Indian Border Security Force BSF members along the Dhontola border in Baliadangi Upazila of Thakurgaon early on Monday. 3 others, including the teen's father, were injured in the incident. The deceased was identified as Jayanta Kumar Singh. He is the son of Mohadev Chandra Borman from Fakir Bhita village under the Upazila. Shamar Chatterjee, local chairman of Dhantala Union Porishad, said BSF took the body of Jayanto while the injured others have been admitted to various hospitals. Confirming the incident, Baliadangi police station officer in charge, Firoz Kabir, said why the victims went to the border could not be known. BNP Secretary-General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir has said the fall of the fascist Awami League government through student movement is a big victory. He said this while briefing reporters after placing wreaths at the grave of martyred President Ziaur Rahman in the capital on the occasion of the 46th founding anniversary of Jatiyotawadi Mohila Dal. BNP Standing Committee member Salima Rahman, Dr. AZM Zahid Hussain and Mohila Dal President Afroza Abbas, among others, were present. The BNP leader hoped that the Mohila Dal would play an important role in the development of women's society, including women empowerment. Now, international news. 33 Palestinians were killed and 145 wounded in Israeli attack in Gaza in the last 24 hours. So far, 40,988 people were killed and 94,825 wounded in Israeli attacks in Gaza since October the 7th, 2023. Israeli officials said 3 Israeli men have been shot dead at a border point between Jordan and the occupied West Bank. Jordan said it is investigating the incident, which happened in an Israeli-controlled area where Jordanian vehicles offload goods entering the West Bank. Russia said today its forces had captured the East Ukrainian village of Memrik, a stepping stone to the Kyiv-held logistics hub of Pokrovsk, some 20 kilometers away. Pokrovsk lies on the intersection of a key road that supplies Ukrainian troops and towns across the Eastern Front and has long been a target for Moscow's army. Russia claims to have taken control of dozens of Ukrainian towns and villages near Pokrovsk in recent months. The advances come more than 30 months into Russia's offensive and as Kyiv's troops find themselves outgunned and outmanned across the sprawling front line. Vice President Kamala Harris and former U.S. President Donald Trump are preparing to face off in their first presidential debate tomorrow, with the election less than 2 months away. The debate will be the first time Trump and Harris, the candidates for the Republican and Democratic parties respectively, will share a stage. The two have never met in person. The debate is also set to be a reflection of how dramatically the race has shifted in recent months. Trump was originally expected to face President Joe Biden at Tuesday's event, but after an initial debate in June, Biden quit the race amid pressure over his stumbling performance and advanced age. The death toll from Typhoon Yagi jumped to 59 in Vietnam as business leaders said the storm had been a disaster for the country's vital manufacturing sector. Authorities said today that 247 people had been injured. Yagi, according to meteorologists, the most powerful typhoon to hit northern Vietnam in 30 years, downed bridges, tore roofs off buildings and damaged factories after making landfall on Saturday, carrying winds in excess of 149 kilometers per hour. Power blackouts caused major disruptions to factories in northern Vietnam, which is a major production hub for global tech firms such as Samsung and Foxconn. The north was also battling serious flooding today, with several communities partially underwater. On now to the weather. The deep depression over Northwest Bay and adjoining West Central Bay of Bengal moved slightly and now lies over Odisha and adjoining area. The Met Office said under its influence, gusty or squally weather may affect the maritime ports, North Bay and adjoining coastal areas of Bangladesh. Maritime ports of Chattogram, Cox's Bazar, Mongla and Paira have been advised to keep hoisted local cautionary signal number 3. I repeat, local cautionary signal number 3. All fishing boats and trawlers over North Bay have been advised to remain close to the coast and proceed with caution till further notice. Meanwhile, the Met Office in its weather forecast till 6 p.m. tomorrow said light to moderate rain or thundershowers accompanied by temporary gusty wind is likely to occur at many places over Chattogram and Sylhet divisions and at a few places over Rangpur, Rajshahi, Dhaka, Mymensingh, Khulna and Borishal divisions. Besides, moderately heavy to heavy falls are likely to occur at places over the country. Night and day temperature may remain nearly unchanged over the country, said the Met Office. Now news on sports. Beat England by 8 wickets in the last test of the 3-match series at the Oval today. It is the Lankans' only 4th test match victory on English soil after an unbeaten century by opener Pathum Nissanka. England won the series 2-1 but missed out on the second clean sweep of its international summer, having defeated the West Indies 3-0 in July. Sri Lanka started their 4th day's batting at the overnight score of 94 for 1 in chase of a victory target of 219 runs. They needed barely 2 hours to complete the job in clinical fashion. Nissanka was unbeaten on 127 runs. The platform was built on Sunday when they skittled England out for 156 in the second innings. Sri Lanka scored 263 in reply to England's 325 runs in their first innings. Pathum Nissanka was adjudged man of the match, while Joe Root was adjudged man of the series. To wind up the bulletin, here again are the main points. Remittance surges in first week of September as country receives nearly 6,535 crore taka. Relief returns in dollar market as currency exchange rate stabilizes and trend of sending remittances through banking channels increases. ICT takes initiative to know number of dead and injured from firing on students and mass people. Decision taken to write letters to public, private hospitals, graveyard authorities and deputy commissioners. Extortion not stopped in market, vacuum just filled up, so interim government to resist extortion sternly, says Finance and Commerce advisor. Polythene and polypropylene bags to be banned in super shops from October the 1st, says Environment advisor. "33 more Palestinians killed in Israeli attacks in the last 24 hours, raising death toll to nearly 41,000 in Gaza. And Sri Lanka beat England by 8 wickets to avoid whitewash in the Oval Test. England clinched the series 2-1. That's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for being with us. If you can, please do join us for our 11:30 news in Bangla. Until then, Allah Hafiz.